I'd like to welcome him to the podium at this time. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Joe Kaufman. Okay. Thank you. Charles, Lee, Tea Party, thank you for putting together such an important event. Friends, fellow Americans, when historians report on this era in our nation's history, if honest, they will mark it as one of a time of major concern. A housing crisis, a skyrocketing unemployment rate, an exploding national debt. Our country is going broke before our eyes. And what are DNC Chair Debbie Wasserman Schultz and President Barack Obama's ideas to fix it? To throw more money at it and to increase bureaucracy. Of course, these are no solutions. Indeed, these only result in making the problem worse. As a child of the 70s, growing up with my grandparents in Westchester, New York, I remember the Jimmy Carter presidency. I remember waiting online for gas with my mom for 2 hours. I remember the hostage crisis in Iran. And I remember clipping coupons with my grandparents as the price of food soared due to massive inflation. Today, the situation is very similar. Gas prices are reaching new highs. We're still threatened by Iran, albeit this time with the possibility of nuclear weapons. And today, I find myself once again clipping coupons. However, back then, we had someone named Ronald Wilson Reagan swoop in and turn things around. Under Reagan, inflation came down, and the hostages came home. My grandfather, who owned a small auto parts store in the Bronx, thrived as he was able to take home more cash, and my grandmother and I were able to enjoy a brand new TV and something called a VCR. I actually still own one of those. But it wasn't just sound fiscal policies that marked the Reagan era. No. What made Ronald Reagan truly great was the leadership he provided the nation. You could look the part and take the right political stances, but there is no substitute for leadership. Leaders do not ignore problems, only to see them get worse. Leaders bring people together to get the job done, and today we are looking for that kind of leadership. Today we need that kind of leadership. Leaders in the mold of Reagan. Right after Congressman Paul Ryan came out with his courageous plan to fix our nation's economy, Debbie Wasserman Schultz went on the attack. She said Republicans were throwing America's youth to the wolves. She said that Republicans were attempting to destroy Medicare and Social Security. She used the worst of tactics, and many newspapers, including the Washington Post, called her out on it. The Post referring to her as a, quote, scaremongerer, saying that she pushed, quote, bogus claims. Our nation is in crisis, and Debbie's demagoguery of important issues such as Medicare and Social Security shows a total lack of leadership. Yeah. Shame on you, Debbie. Shame on you. Our national debt has ballooned to well over $14 trillion, most of it owed to unfriendly nations such as China. Since 1990, our national debt has gone up over $10 trillion. Since 2007 alone, our debt has gone up $4.5 trillion. For years now, our government has been ignoring this nation's spending epidemic. Many politicians cower cower at the thought of getting criticized by people such as Debbie. But we can no longer afford to ignore this problem, because if we do, it will be too late. Too late for our children and grandchildren. Too late for our beautiful nation. That is why we must act immediately to enact cut, cap, and balance. To cut and cap spending and to pass a balanced budget amendment. And that is why I signed the pledge to do so. And we must not give in to those calling for higher taxes. I get sick to my stomach every time I hear politicians attempt to solve the nation's problems by raising America's taxes.
Hell no!
Debbie Schultz and her cronies in Washington try to fool the public by calling this, quote, revenue. Well, I got news for Debbie and all others who wish to raise taxes on the public. You want to raise revenue? Create jobs. You want to raise revenue? Stop over-regulating small businesses. Stop forcing big businesses out of our country. You want to raise revenue? Cut taxes. Don't raise them. One-fifth of our nation's workforce is employed in multinational corporations. When these corporations move out of our country, because people like Debbie Wasserman Schultz want to force new taxes and new regulations down their throats, their jobs move as well. That leaves a void for the middle class who fill those jobs, essentially causing the middle class to become the nation's new poor. Furthermore, we have illegal immigrants taking jobs from Americans who need them. If we're looking to move people off of welfare and into a job, if we're looking to create new jobs, and if we're looking to invite businesses back to our country, surely we are going about it the wrong way. Our founding fathers must be rolling in their graves. They fought with their blood, sweat, and tears so that we could have a free nation, unshackled by the restraints of big government, of the people, for the people, and by the people. What we have today is a nation out of control. What happened when the government tried to get involved in the real estate industry, making houses more affordable? The housing blew up. The housing bubble blew up in our face. And what's going to happen if and when Obamacare is enacted, making health care more affordable, quote, more affordable? The healthcare industry will blow up as well. And many good people will be made to suffer.
Right.
Friends, when my great-grandparents came to this country on ships bound for Ellis Island, they did so to escape oppression and to seek the opportunity that America represented. When asked if he was happy that he made the move to America, my great-grandfather Mac stated, quote, "Yes, 100%. I am a self-made man. I was never hungry again. I have never been sorry that I came to this country that gave me so much opportunity." My great-grandmother Esther, one of the greatest people I have ever had the honor to know, described America as, quote, "a beautiful sunshine after a terrible storm." I hope we preserve this nation, because there's nothing like it anywhere else in the world. I thank God for America. I thank God for America. God bless you, and God bless the United States of America. I just want to say one more thing. If I'm in a foxhole And I have the choice of being hunkered down in the trenches with Alan West or Debbie Wasserman Schultz. I'll take Lieutenant Colonel and Congressman West any day. I stand with Alan West. Thank you. Thank you, Joe. Well, I think we got a feeling that she's going to have a battle on her hands.